Hi guys, thank you for joining in. I had just sent over resources to Jason that he'll be forwarding. I'm pretty sure he already covered that. I apologize, I was over on the phone. But let's just get started. So depending on what you guys are starting with, depending if it's going to be a Mac or if it's going to be PC, there's two different programs that we can use when it comes to uploading photos to create an actual video for ourselves. So the main thing that I'm going to be focusing is creating the content in comparison to the live video, because in regards to doing the live one, it's actually more simpler, but it goes in a different path. So like I said, what we're going to cover today is creating the content and then uploading it onto YouTube, and then also creating a landing page so that we can direct people over to giving us information before we actually give them information. Let's just get started. Give me one moment. So I'm going to share my screen now so you guys will be able to see the process in which I go through. One of the PDFs that Jason had actually shared will actually have all the steps that I'll be covering today. Like I said, the first thing that we're going to do, which is step number one, is creating the content. So when I create the content, I'm actually going to utilize whatever's in our actual system already. In comparison to downloading so many different things, what I'm going to have you guys do is, if you do have a PC, what you're going to be using is Video Editor. So I usually have it on the more updated versions. You'll find a search bar on the very bottom, and you'll be able to find the app on there. There is different ways. If you have a older computer, I'm pretty sure that you'll still find it within the apps, but I think it's just named something Microsoft Video Editor, something like that, around that field. So as we go into this, we're just going to check this one out, right? So if you are using a Mac, you would be using iMovie. Mind you, like I said, there are other programs, but these are the ones that we're going to utilize considering they're already in our system. Now that we're in a video editor, we're going to head over to make a new project. As we create a new project, you're going to see this whole thing pop up. First naming it Virtual Open House. Okay. So you're going to see this whole screen right here. This is actually where you would be uploading your photos on the project library. So if I go here and I'm going to upload my collection of photos, what I had done ahead of time was make sure I collect all the information that I wanted to put into our video and put it into one folder so it was easy to find. Continue. Oh, I never asked me for this before, but we will accept. Okay. I'm just going to add photos over to our library. Come here. So I already pre-selected everything to put onto here. We're just going to place and drag and copy and paste. So now that it has all the images that I want, all I have to do is simple on this program, because all I have to do is select the ones that I want to put in and actually drag it down just the same. It starts to lay out everything. Don't worry if it's not in the order that you want. In this case scenario, I had created a document where it has all my information. What I want to do is actually put this to the very beginning of the video, or putting it to the last as the last slide in the video, because you want to be able to direct people of how to contact you. In most cases, I would suggest that you utilize landscape photos in comparison to portrait, only because the way that the sizing would work and the way it would be displayed in the actual video. So if we take a look at this right now, our one about 8 seconds. We make it long and make it shorter. What we want to do is just tailor it so that it feels smooth and it feels like the actual client is walking through the property. So we can do that by actually playing around with the duration of time. So you'll see on this which video editor has how many seconds it will actually display. You can actually change the duration. So it could be 3 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds, your liking. So in this case scenario, we can even change it to, let's just say 10 seconds. If you were to do it to multiple, I believe all you have to do is hand select everything. Sometimes people will do voiceover for these videos, so that's the main reason you'll have the privilege of actually hand selecting certain slides and for however long you need it to be. But in this case scenario, I just want something that is going to be consistent, because all I'm doing is actually putting music here. So let's just take, for example, I want it for 10 seconds each. And now everything is changed to seconds. You'll find it in the very bottom, right next to the picture icon, that it will reflect how long the actual video will slide will be. If you unselect everything, you can change it according to what you want, meaning you'll be able to add animation to it, how it comes into the next slide. You will also be able to add titles or subtitles to them as well. So if you wanted to label the photos, you could do that. In most cases, I don't necessarily do it because it's usually a standard of what they'll understand. But I always suggest putting the actual photos in the order of you walking through the house. So as soon as you walk into the house, what is the first thing that you see? What is the next thing that you see? What is the next thing that you see? So you want to do it in chronological order so that, like I said, it feels like the actual client is walking through the property. You want them to get a better understanding of the blueprint of the property. So we have all this set. Like I said, you can add all these different features, which is adding a text onto the slide. You can add a motion. You can add a 3D effect. In this case scenario, we're going to keep it simple only because it's the tutorial version. So now, as I look at everything basically comes out to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. If anybody is ever making a video in terms of a slideshow and you're not doing a voiceover, I would suggest having a video less than 5 minutes. So 5 minutes would be the tops for any of these because you don't want to lose the attention span of somebody. So the case scenario in here, like I said, it fits our qualification of 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I can add a background music or a custom if you guys are putting a voiceover. In this case scenario, I'm just going to pick the very first one. I don't even know what the sound is, but sync your video to the music's beat. And you can adjust the volume. If you guys are adjusting the volume and you guys are playing it over the video, I would suggest having something on the low key because you don't want to overwhelm people with loud music or anything like that. You want to make it as smooth and as peaceful as possible. So I don't know necessarily what this particular thing is. Let's try blossoming maybe. I'm going to reduce the sound so it's something that is still soothing and it doesn't overpower what we're visually seeing. Done. And then before you actually save it, I would also suggest previewing it. So at least this way you know exactly how it's going to come out. I guess for every 10 seconds, it's pretty long, but you can play around with it, like I said. For the end of the video, or even in the beginning, like I said, add your contact information so people know how to be directed to the next step. So as we finish the video, what we're going to do is actually save it for ourselves. Recommended more, use hardware, export. In the case scenario, if you guys can't upload a, or you guys can't change the save as type, or can change the save as type, make sure that you're saving it as an MP4 file. We're going to save it onto our desktop just so we can easily find it. I'm going to put it in the same folder. Open, export. So while we're waiting, I'll bring you over to the YouTube channel. So if you guys don't already have a specific YouTube channel, I would suggest, or YouTube account, I mean, I would suggest highly creating one, so that at least this way you guys can move along and also participate in the virtual open houses. What you would do as soon as you sign in, you will be directed to a page. What you're gonna do is head over here to your icon, click on your channel, and it will bring you to this exact page that I have right here. In order to upload it, what we're going to do is head over to YouTube Studio. Perfect. So it's already an MP4 file for us. So now what we're going to do is just upload this over to YouTube. I wonder if they have the share page. Oh, no. All right, so now we're here. What we're going to do is upload video on this page, on this section right here. Select the file. We know that it's in our folder. Virtual open house. And our file is right here. Perfect. So now as this uploads, what we're gonna do is just put in here on the description box. This is where I would suggest as soon as you create the landing page, this is where you would update the information into. Another thing that you guys can also put in here is going to be the event link. So at least this way they can tailor back over to that event page. And if they should have any questions for you, they can definitely direct it to that area. Just make sure you go through all the options through here, seeing exactly where you can put information. So in this case scenario, I'm just going to put link to event page goes here, or depending on the actual languages you utilize, a landing page here too. It's made for kids. And next. Next. So in this particular case scenario, what you can do is make it public where everybody can see your video, unlisted or even private. Anyone with the link video link can see your video. So in this case scenario, we can use it if we're embedding it into our landing page, or we can also do the private mode. So anybody that we hand select to see the video will be able to see this. If it's going to be public, what it will do is post over to your channel, and anybody that's outside of the people that you want to market to will still be able to view the actual video. So what I would suggest is actually doing the unlisted. All right, and as we save it, it will upload into our account, and then we will get the actual link from there for a later time as well. So now while this one's uploading, what we'll do is head over to our KV platform. So if you guys are referencing to the virtual open house document overlook or overview, we're now on step number 3, creating the actual landing page. Now, if we head over to our KV core, what you're gonna do is you're gonna see your actual dashboard. We are actually going to head over to this place, lead engine. From lead engine, what we're going to do is landing page. We'll select our domain. I think whenever you see it through your screen, you're only going to see one. But give me just a second to find mine. Perfect. Just for your records, you will be able to create as many landing pages as you want. I think what the limit is per month is 50. But 50 is more than enough for you to create whatever it is, or even create mistakes along the way, or even sample ones. In this case scenario, what we're gonna do is keep it simple, but I'll definitely go over the advantages of using certain templates. When it comes to lead generation, this is what we usually go to or resort to in order to direct clients to give in their email and then also their cell phone if you so choose. In most cases, I always do it as a requirement, but it's up to you guys. This is a great way to actually advertise the property, giving it a couple highlight pointers of what the actual property includes. Or take, for example, if it's a condo, something that the amenities include. I would stick to something general, so at least this way you'll be able to answer questions and people will start to ask you more personal questions on a one-on-one basis, because your whole idea is to be able to speak with them. Let's see. When it comes to using the video view or video lead, what I would suggest is putting a video. I will have to stop the video really quick. There you go. I would suggest putting a video of you guys introducing yourself, or what you can do is a sneak preview of the actual property that you're going to be showing in the tour. This could be something super short. I would highly suggest making it less than maybe 30 seconds. Like I said, that would be the option for video view or video and lead. The only reason why I would suggest putting a teaser or a video introduction that you've made for yourself is because we don't want necessarily people to just view the video and then all of a sudden we get no information in return. If we were to link this over to our website, at least they're going over to our website, and if they start clicking around, then they'll be instructed to actually register, and then we'll be able to exchange with their information and still give our resources to them. When it comes to content hijack, usually this is a portion where people are expecting one thing, but you want to see if you can convince them in order to look into your website and see whatever other listings that you have. Take, for example, they wanted to view the tour, but you wanted to start asking them questions. Hey, would it be an opportunity for you to actually invest into a property or see a condo of this liking? The whole idea is this information right here is actually going to be something different from the actual property that you're trying to advertise. The whole idea is trying to direct them over to see more listings or whatever web page that you direct this one over to. And if you were to link this one, this is basically bringing them exactly to that tour that they were trying to go to in the first place. When it comes to text lead, you can also use this as an option where they will send you a text code. You can also use the address capture, entering their address. And then last but not least, if your Facebook chat is actually hooked up, you can actually use this as an option too, so that they can start asking you questions on a personal basis. This would be the type of landing page that I would include in the description if you were to make it public to your virtual open house. Unfortunately, it's taking long, but we'll continue to push forward anyways. So right now, what I'll do is I'll just use the very first template. So right here, this is going to be the place where I'm going to start to edit. Mind you, just be careful when you do click around, because if you do click twice in one area, it may delete that particular box where you would be able to edit the actual information. And as soon as it actually deletes, unfortunately, I don't know a way for it to come back. So that's the main reason why I will warn you now, just be careful. So as we're editing through here, what I would highly suggest is not necessarily putting the address of the property, but I would put in the street. Take, for example, I live at Kennedy Boulevard. What I would do is just put Kennedy Boulevard. Instead of putting the whole address, the whole thing is you want them to continue to ask questions. So that's why you don't want to be super specific. If it's going to be a condo, in a condo building or anything like that, what you can name it is the actual building name itself. So across the street is probably Kennedy Boulevard condos. I don't know. But let's just say that's the name of the condos across the street. That's a way that you can display it on there. On here, you can put the information of your virtual open house, or you can continue to give more information in terms of the property that we are giving details about. So in this case scenario, I want to put the event details. So I'm just going to say, check out event detail, the virtual open house. Later today at 2 p.m. So I'm just creating this for later today. But in the case scenario, you're doing this in advance, make sure you just change the wording in itself. From here, I would just highlight things about the property. Beautiful property. I'm not going to change them at this current point in time, but just highlight the different features on the property. If there are amenities to a condo, definitely include that. Like I said, if you were to double click on a certain area, it will just delete the area. And that's about it from there. So in order to edit these, what we're going to do now is head back to the very top. So what we're going to do here is add a hashtag. So if anybody were to sign into our landing page, this would be the automatic hashtag that would be assigned to that actual lead. In this case scenario, I want to put it for, let's say Kennedy, or I can do just the abbreviations because I know what it is. So KBC for Kennedy Boulevard condos, and then I can put open house. In the case scenario, if it's a residential and you want to use an address, just make sure there's no spaces. You do not need to put any symbols except for the underscore if you were to put a spacing. But let's just take, for example, I wanted to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, Kennedy. You can do it like that. So it still meets the qualifications of no spacing. Like I said, the only symbol that I would actually use is going to be that underscore. You don't need to put the pound sign, or in other cases we call it the hashtag, and that's about it. In the submit button, this is the text that will appear down here. So instead of saying the automatic see the list now, what I can put is view virtual tour here. Or you can also do click here. But this is something that you can personalize for yourself. So even if you're directing them over to somewhere, a different page, you'll be able to do it through here too. Mind you, they cannot press this button or they cannot access the actual link that they want to go to unless they sign up their email and also their phone number if you were to have that as an option. URL after login is usually where we'll put the YouTube URL link. In this case scenario, it hasn't uploaded yet. So what I'll do is I'll just go over to a different YouTube page. And I'll upload the video that I already have on there. Your channel. So as soon as you're over here, and let's just pretend this is our property that we're trying to showcase, you can go over here, which is a share button, or you can go up top here and just copy and paste this link right here. So in this case scenario, I'll show you this so you can see this. So what we're gonna do, copy and paste. And place it onto here. Like I said, you can require the phone, and in most cases I put it. Let's just see, we're good on there. You can change the background as well. So instead of having the lady there, you can have a stock photo that they already currently have. You can also do a custom background where you're inputting an actual image that's already in your computer. Mind you, you would need the URL link. It cannot be a Google Drive document, I believe. It has to be something else. So you can upload it onto, I don't know, any other programs, honestly. I think one of the places, I'm not sure if your iCloud has URL links or anything like that, but if you do have any questions on this one, definitely let me know. I'll try to find out more information for you guys where you can upload them. I think Pixar is one of them or something like that. Pixel, I'm not too sure. All right. So another option would also to do the primary MLS image. In this case scenario, if you want to get the MLS number, we can head back to a different tab where our KV core was. And get the actual information through the listings tab. From the listings tab, you'll find the property on here. If you're looking for just specifically your properties, you can also do this, my listings, or you can do an agency listings if you are trying to showcase somebody else's property. Mind you, if you are showcasing somebody else's property, just be sure to get permission from your manager and also the listing agent. I'm pretty sure you would not have a problem in terms of sharing that particular property, because our main goal is to actually help the seller or the landlord. And in return, we're also helping the buyers and the renters. So like I said, we're gonna just look at the actual MLS or OLR number. I'm gonna grab this number right here. Head back to our landing page, primary MLS image, and paste. So it just changes it for us automatically. Mind you, if you are using the custom background, I will add this information. Make sure it's not a small image, because the thing is, you do not want the actual resolution to be affected if it were to be stretched out onto this particular layout. All right, so last but not least, what you would do is going to be saving everybody on here. In this case scenario, considering it's an open house, we're gonna make the assumption that they're going to be all buyers. You can still change this in the system as soon as they're recorded in your KV Core CRM. But in this case scenario, like I said, we're just going to make the assumption that everybody that's looking at this page or anybody that's registering is interested in being a buyer. So as soon as we do that, we're going to hit save. Mind you, if you do press save, you cannot change anything on this landing page anymore. So what I would highly suggest is reviewing everything, making sure that everything is up to point, spelling is correct. You do not want to make any further edits. And as soon as that happens, like I said, save. As soon as you save, it's actually going to create a URL specific to this page for you guys. And after that, I think it's like a whole bunch of numbers, so you're never going to remember it. After you press save, like I said, you're just going to copy this URL and you're going to put it into another document that you'll be able to access later down the road. Mind you, if we actually X out this this tab, we will lose this page forever. We won't know what the actual URL is, so we won't be able to reference back to it. So that's why I'm going to say before you close out anything, make sure you copy and paste this into a separate document. In some cases, I will send it to myself back as an email. Let me just save this really quick so that I know. Open house. This is just my test. It will prompt you this. Okay. Like I said, it just generates this long URL for us, which I hardly doubt anybody's going to memorize. We're going to copy. I'm going to head it over to my email and just email this to myself, or just leave it on the screen too. All right, now that our landing page was actually created, now we're going to head over to our Facebook, which is going to be step number 4. So now that we're in our Facebook, make sure that you're on your business account, not your personal. When it comes to your business and your personal, the difference between the two is this like feature. That's the main thing that I will tell you how you'll be able to know if it's your actual personal versus your business. But once we're on our business page and everything's all up and running, I want to do the very first thing. I want to also make sure that our settings are up to date and in sync with any of our Instagram accounts if you do have any. So I just want you guys to make sure that you connect your account to your business page. So at least this way you guys will be able to create ads for Instagram on Facebook or vice versa. So next one, like I said, we're going to head back. I just wanted to show you guys that really quick. All right, so back to our page, what we're going to do is create the event now. So when we're creating the event, what you're going to see is this very top portion. Underneath your cover photo, what you're going to see is 4 different buttons. We're actually going to head to this 4th button right here. We are going to create the event. Now it's going to ask us for details. Make sure you indicate that this is virtual and that nobody is showing up onto this property. Description is, if you guys look in the document, I had actually included a sample. You guys can copy and paste that one and just change the words accordingly. Or what you can do is just put in information and type it out from your heart. In this case scenario, I'm just going to put sample here. And the other thing that I'm going to include is going to be the link to our landing page. So I had saved that over in my email. I'm going to grab this, copy, and paste. Now that that's included here, I always want to label this only because I don't want people to think that it's some random URL link to some spam page or anything like that. So I always label it as this: link to virtual tour here. Mind you, we know what the actual thing is, but we have to ask ourselves, do they know what it is? So that's the only reason why I try to label things as much as possible so that it's simple and easy and people know exactly where to go. If you do want this to be shortened, in most cases, what I will suggest is getting a bit.ly account. So this is outside of the actual document that Jason had sent you. So if you guys want to write it down, just make sure you jot down it's going to be bit.ly. This just helps us to shorten the link. I already have a created account, but I'll show you exactly what happens in this case scenario. The only reason why I like this is because this is actually what people use on Instagram in order to shorten the links and make it look more professional. In this case scenario, what we're going to do is shorten our landing page link. So once I create this, I can create a title for it. So it's going to be virtual open house. Sample. This is just for our information only. For the bit.ly portion where you're customizing the back half, you can utilize whatever they give you. I like to personally personalize it where I would put in the actual address of the property so we know what the link is. So take, for example, it could be 1234 Kennedy. In another case scenario, virtual open house. So we can have it like this, or we can even do it as the building name and then make sure we label as virtual open house. As we create that, we're just going to copy this link right here. The resources will always be saved here for you guys, so you can always reference back to it. But the reason why I like this the most is because it will tell us more analytics about the actual information. So it'll tell us how many people have actually clicked on it. We can actually tell how much engagement something has. So that's the only reason why I would highly suggest getting this bit.ly account in order to shorten your links and then also make it look more professional. Heading back to our event page, instead of using this, we already created a shorter link. So I'm going to paste it on here. So either or you can utilize whichever way you want. But like I said, this is for me where I feel more comfortable having a shared link like this. So at least this way it just shortens everything and it looks cleaner. When it comes to category, we're just going to put this one as, I think the only option was to put it for home. Frequency, you can do this. Mind you, if you're creating your virtual open house, you don't have to just use it for one time. You can do it multiple times. So even though that you're just doing it on Saturday doesn't mean that you can't do it for using the same information on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, however many times that you guys want. Let's see. Make sure to change the hours. So in this case scenario, if it's going to be something of this video type, you can extend the hours or you can put it, let's just say from 12 to 12:30. So that's going to be, oh, I didn't even realize it was AM. Make sure your time is right. Let me just use the example for 7 p.m. to 7:30. So you can do 7 to 7:30 because it's something virtual. You can extend the hours even to something longer so you're available to answer your anybody's question during that time frame. Considering it's virtual, I honestly wouldn't even go past an hour. I mean, it depends on how you host your actual virtual open house, but in my opinion, I would suggest having it no more than an hour because it gives you enough time to show the content and then also engage with the client at the same time, especially if you're doing virtual open houses, which are live. So that's going to be on there. If you guys are partnering with anybody, obviously you would put it through here. Kid friendly, of course. I don't think we need to put anything here, but in keywords, you could probably put real estate. We can skip over those. And you can also have this. People can ask questions about your event on Messenger. So there's different options that you can also toggle on or off. As soon as we publish it, this will head over to our wall. Event names need to be standard, capitalized, and can't. Let's see if I put this. So now that it's published onto our wall, what we're going to do is head back over to that page. Oh, it actually opens up directly to that page. Sorry. So once we're on here, we can definitely change the actual photo that's featured on here. It could be something on the property. So at least this way, it's something that stands out from your actual main page. Because I believe if you don't change this photo, it's just whatever was on your cover photo in your main page, in your profile page. So we'll see here all the different details. In your Facebook page, it doesn't matter that's already published. You can continue to edit it as much as possible, especially if your information changes. I will let you know if you guys are doing a live video, make sure that you sign on at that exact time that you tell people to sign on and have them do, you'll have to go onto the event page, do the live video from here. So you're going to see if you are on your business page that there's going to be a live video portion on there. But like I said, we want people to be directed over to this main specific page where we have the created event. So that's why we're going to open the created event and then do the video live through here. Mind you, if you guys do not have as many likes or anything like that on your business page, I would highly suggest sharing it to as many people as possible. The main idea is about the numbers, you know. You want as many people to view it and as many people to interact with it. Even if you don't get anything at all, perfectly fine. There's always a different way. I believe there was an open house out in Jersey City where one of the agents, they didn't get as much interaction when it came to the virtual open house. However, she was able to land a couple deals just from that one small open house that she had. I believe she landed a, let's see, I think she landed a buyer for that property that she was showing. And then that buyer actually owned a couple investment properties, and she was able to also get those listed for him. So you never know exactly who's watching. It's better that you make those mistakes, and we'll be able to help you in order to correct those errors. But without you making mistakes, you won't learn, you know? But as I said, we're here as a resource to you guys. I hope it's going to be just a great experience for you guys. Hopefully the overview of the steps will also be able to help you guys with the virtual learning things that we had done today, the visual portion. But we'll open this time if anybody has any particular questions, so at least this way we can get them answered for you. All right. Thank you guys for joining in. Like I said, I am available if you guys do have any questions or would like to go over any of these particular steps on an individual level. I'll stop sharing my screen now. But the resources will be available in your email. All right. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks, Annabelle.
Have a great day.
Hey, you too. See you at 2:30.
See you at 2:30.
Hey, take care, Annabelle.